Support for 100 Watts and a Wire is brought to you by 100wattsandawire.com. To subscribe to the show, simply click the RSS feed or subscribe wherever you get your podcast. When you visit, apply for your free 100 Watts ID and learn how you can become a sustaining member. Click the donate page and pick the option that works best for you. We've got a traveling toolkit, 100 Watts and a Wire gear, and activity days with prizes. That's 100wattsandawire.com. Heard it, worked it, logged it. It is time to get the transceiver that is best suited for your lifestyle. ICOM offers a variety of high-performance and innovative products. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur and make the most out of contest season. And LDG. An LDG automatic tuner between your transmitter and antenna will match impedances and ensure maximum power output while protecting your finals from damage due to reflected RF. To learn more, visit ldgelectronics.com.
And now, from Grid Square Echo Mike 48, this is 100 Watts and a Wire.
Shonuv, how you doing? I got to work on that, man. I lived in Philadelphia for 6 years. And how you doing? How you doing, hon? I got a mix-up of Baltimore and Philadelphia there. I've been working on my Baltimore accent a little bit more, too. I went to college, and the professor, he went to Syracuse, and he would say, you know, if you want to, much deeper voice, if you want to, can't do it. If you want to work in this business, you need to work on and this was to the class. You need to lose the accent and the way that you speak. And I don't think he was from Maryland at all. But he's teaching, you know, a bunch of, some of us were, cool and whatever, but, and others were not. And, so you're dealing with all sorts of people. But his advice was lose the accent if you want to work anywhere else other than this city. Meanwhile, people have gone on to have great careers and, sound just like that. But, yeah, they are local. So anyway, I took that advice and I thought, I probably should work on it because, and I can't shake it all. You hear it with me when I say the word O-N. Some people say on. I say on. On. You know. It's a lot to do with the O's in the Baltimore accent. And I think every little area, has it. Up and down the East Coast, you go from that sort of southern, the sound of the South, and then Virginia, and then Baltimore, Maryland's got its own thing, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, you go up and down the line. I think it's charming, and I like to hear the dialect. I think it's cool, and that's just it. But for me, I say the word on. Some people say on. On for me would be A-W-N, on, like an awning. I don't say it like that. I say on. Sorry. So I've been mixing in a little bit of Han. We call everybody Han, everybody. How you doing, Han? Yeah, let's go down the ocean. Watch the O's. Play the Oriole game. Yeah. Anyway, I have no idea. I have a lot of problems, but I've been thinking about my hometown a lot recently, and I miss it. I've got some good friends there who I talk to on the regular. I try to. And I miss the accent, miss the people. It's a great city. Every city has its issues. And Baltimore is no different. But there's so much good and so much great and a great history there. You really need to know your history, to talk about things properly. Anywho, hon, let's get on with the show. Let's talk about what we're going to do today. Last week, we discussed a little bit. I took some of your questions, and I had some more left over. I just can't see keeping you more than 30, 40 minutes at a time. These brothers out here are doing 90-minute shows. Give me a break. Come on now. What is it for? You can boil that up and boil it on down to about 7 minutes for whatever you're talking about. So I try to keep things like, try to, at least, The ranting's like Baltimore, How many minutes we in? 5. Baltimore deserves 5 minutes. You should know who I am. Right, hon? Oh, Lord, I can't stop myself now. Did you see Crystal down the way? Her mother says hello. Good God Almighty. It's where it all started for me, friends. So we will defend and talk about whatever we need to talk about. But last week I talked, tried to answer some questions, and I compiled them on little sheets of paper, many of which I could not get to. I do appreciate that. Send others if you'd like to, because we have listeners around the world now. And we had before, but you can listen to a podcast whenever. If you're listening to shortwave radio, you have 2 opportunities to do so there as well. So questions do come in. And let me give you the information on our shortwave. They like that too, and they deserve the promotion. WTWW at 5 p.m. on Saturdays. That's a little fluid, though. I mean, like if I do a 35-minute show, it bumps somebody's time off. So listen to the block of ham radio content on Saturday evening. See that on again? You're very patient. You can dial to 5085 WTWW in Tennessee, the mighty WTWW. And in Maine, WBCQ 5130 on Friday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time to hear the show. Again, some of the beauty of it is that, it is fluid. Some people have hard in and out times. This show is created to be a podcast. And I've had shows that are an hour and 15 minutes, and I just listen to them, and it depends on who you're talking to. And usually an interview will send me over because I get captivated with who I'm talking to. And sometimes it can go long. I try to keep a tight spiral of a show. This week, I want to ask you a question. Someone asked me about the future of amateur radio, and I've given my answer several times. Nobody picks it up. You don't hear anybody pick it up and talk about it on other shows. Everybody's worried about the future. Don't worry about the future of amateur radio so much. If you're who's really interested in it are people that sell you things because they want their companies to continue. They want to know how do we get to the future? I mean, how are we going to keep this thing alive here? Whether it's for the cash cow or whatever, there's some people with different intentions on that. And then there's some who legitimately want to pass this on to a new generation. I've talked about it endlessly before, not endlessly enough, but being inclusive is the answer. You're probably not going to have a shortage of white kids, white boys in the hobby. I don't think you're going to have that. They find it, they pick it up. Let's introduce it to more women, whether they're young kids and grown. I've got 2 daughters who are getting it through sort of the periphery of being around me. They're getting it like I received it from my father. I was around it. It caught on. I don't push it so hard. It's exposure to the great hobby and service. So women and people of color. The white boys are going to be there like they've been there. You don't agree? Fine. But if you really care, beyond your sales, a lot of shows out there just want to sell you stuff. A lot of people out there creating content based on being puppets to sell other stuff, other products. It's what's going on. And I've got sponsors, but I'm not going to sit here endlessly and just let's unbox this microphone. No, I'm not doing the unboxings. I will. You can know listening to this show that if a sponsor is a sponsor on the show, I'm using their stuff. There you go. And I'll tell you how. I'm using it. But inclusiveness, diversity, and I thought, I was like, what would be kind of cool is to share. To prove the point, let's share our ham radio goals. Let me ask you a question. And I've done it through social media, and you can feel free to answer this as you are listening to this. Drop me a line, go to 100wattsonawire.com. Send me an email. We can talk about it. We'll talk about it again. But across our social media platforms, Facebook, we have a 100 Watts in a Wire podcast page there. It supports this show. We also have a Twitter feed. You know, we're on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Easy enough to find. So I asked the people in between the shows, what are your ham radio goals? And right now we had a quick 137 comments, and they are as diverse as this hobby itself. For me, it says, why not be inclusive? Why not open the door? Why not, let's not make it just because you're making an exotic contact in an exotic land. Let's make it full time. Open your arms. You really want to see this thing grow into the future. Like if your heart's really, really into it, beyond, selling whatever it is you're selling, then that's what you're going to have to do. And it should be a pretty easy, boom, that makes sense. Yeah, women and people of color. Yeah, we need more people. Okay. So what are your ham radio goals? We put the question out there. Steven says, to serve others, N0TES from Alpha Antenna. The first one to jump in, I think he's doing a good job of doing that. He's trying really hard, at least. Alex says, a lighter radio setup for soda. He wants to get rid of his tuner, go with something smaller. There's two different things. Two answers, two very different deals. Can I get a drink of coffee? Come on, you two. Okay. Jerry, he wants to get his DXCC. He's KD8UWF. 3 people, 3 different things. See a pattern? Buddy, to work all states by way of FM satellite. He's Alpha Echo 4, Bravo Lima. 4 and 4 different things. Amy, AG7GP, have fun, continuation of learning, someday have all my shack organized. 5 different answers. You see where I'm going with this? Anyway, John says it's a hobby. My only goal is to have fun with it. W8JAM. Jason, be prepared to communicate and take care of my family in grid down SHTF situation. Personal goals, since he's a newbie, he's been in it for about a year, work all states, all continents, Russia, Central Europe, build a portable camping setup. Got a lot of goals. David, to have fun, meet new friends. That's why I got my license and why I keep it up. I do many things in the hobby, including public service for fun. November 5, Oscar Foxtrot Whiskey. Jesse, Kilo Zulu 9 Golf. VUCC and DXCC, and complete 5-band work all states. Michael, to be there when needed, enjoying all the hobby has to offer, bringing in new hams. He's Kilo Bravo 2, Kilo Whiskey Delta. And you can see, hold 1 second, let me reach over. All right. Everything's good. I'm keeping an eye on the time. I don't want to keep you here too long. Ben, to get a decent antenna up in my HOA yard, thinking about installing a broadcast TV antenna and adding an HF antenna to the pole. Larry says, achieve 5-band DXCC and 5-band worked all states, single sideband and digital. Kilo Echo 0, Kilo Zulu. Toby, to get my wire back up after a 6-month hiatus. I miss everyone. He is Whiskey 2, Tango, Mike Sierra. Donald, snag a DX contact on Mars. Maybe Jupiter with a bigger amp. Smart ass. Another guy from Baltimore. Police officer on the Boys in Blue. What's up, Don? Ken, to have a fully portable self-sufficient station so I can operate in any condition, providing tactical radio operations, supporting everything from emergency communications to bike rides. He is Kilo Foxtrot 5, Whiskey Juliet Charlie. Is it too early for the voice? Is it too much to ask? Is this old body to clear it out? Good grief. Another Ken. Right now I'm working on Worked All States and DXCC. I'm still working on learning Morse code. And too many other things to list here. Well, not really. You could do it if you really wanted to. Kilo Echo 8, Hotel Zulu, Zulu. You noticing a pattern? These folks have different ideas, different interests. It is as diverse as the hobby itself. Why shouldn't the people be diverse as well? Rex, to be emergency assistance for my rural? He's got a royal community. No, that's me. I said it wrong. Rural community. Personal goal is to get his extra and learn CW. Evan, a stronger HF station and perfect my portable setup for field days, parks, and maybe some soda in the future. He's Whiskey A Kilo Juliet Romeo. Levi, Win, CQ, Worldwide. Do one more, we'll take a break, and we'll come back and do some more. Larry, to continue to have fun making contacts around the globe. Kilo Echo 8, Lima, Victor, Victor. This is a study in diversity of interest. It is a diverse hobby. We have diverse people already in it with diverse interest. Open up your arms, people. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? You want to talk about the future? Well, talk about diversity. Open your arms up to this Polish boy. When are you going to do that? Come on now. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll take some more of your listener answers on their goals next.
When in doubt, hang 'em high. This is 100 watts and a wire.
Brothers and sisters of the Hamily, make the most out of contest season with one of these ICOM radios. How about the IC7610? The SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out the faintest of signals even in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. The IC7610 is a direct sampling software-defined radio that will change the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. Dual Digi-Select RF direct sampling system, an independent dual receiver. And let's not forget the IC7300, changing the way entry-level HF is designed. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur to learn more about all ICOM radios. LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need, from QRP to QRO, fixed station, portable and remote, matching your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast proprietary tuning algorithms. Our generic desktop tuners work automatically with nearly any radio, while our brand-specific tuners are customized to popular models. LDG's Zero Power tuners are ideal for portable or mobile use, as they consume almost no power at all in their standby state. Some can be powered by internal batteries that last for months of normal use. Our weatherproof remote tuners install at the antenna feed point, greatly reducing SWR losses in the coax. LDG tuners are backed by our 2-year fully transferable warranty and our legendary customer service, the best in the industry. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com. And ABR Industries. Struggling to find the right coax for your equipment? ABR Industries can help you find the right solution that won't break your piggy bank. We offer professionally terminated assemblies using high-quality PL259, N-type, SMA, BNC, and many other connectors. Custom lengths and specialized labeling is available too. All products are individually tested, and most orders ship within 1 to 2 days. For more information, visit abrind.com or call 713-492-2722.
QRO to the people. This is 100 watts and a wire.
Welcome back. It's Christian. My call sign is Kilo Zero Sierra Tango Hotel. You heard a new sponsor there, and I talked about sponsorships and selling things. And I mentioned earlier that I don't put sponsors on unless I use those sponsors. ABR Industries is new to me. I'm working on this VHF UHF project, and I was tipped off by John from Last Man Standing that he's basically putting up the same VHF UHF station there on set of Last Man Standing. And he said, I used ABR Industries. Check them out. You can order things, get the right connectors. And I did. I took what is a referral. I talked to the people there. Another thing you should know is I buy the stuff that I use. All right? I think that there is a lot of freebies out there going around. It's like, here, take this here radio. It's a 5-watt. Take it up on the hill and you talk about it, and then you can keep it, okay? I think there's a lot of that maybe, or there's a perception of, Christian's an ICOM guy, but they just gave him that 7300. No. I like to purchase stuff because I want to be able to speak freely about it. So, if something fails, I want to be able to tell the audience, look, man, I had an issue here. And I think that if, and it's this way in broadcast radio as well, whether it's a car or whatever it is that you're driving around for free and you're meant to endorse, quote unquote, endorse it, I think you can be a little bit jaded. So for me, or maybe you give a review that's slightly slanted, to the positive. If you're buying it, you have every right to say what you feel about the product. If the product is great, awesome, it's perfect, you'll be a repeat buyer. Maybe you'll tell a friend like John did to me. If it's bad, you say, look, here's a way to improve it. And if you really want to, if you're listening, if you're really trying to make your products better, you're listening to the people, right? So I just thought I would put that out there as well. I don't like to be beholden to anything where you got it, you're selling your soul or something like that just because you got something for free. Doesn't sit with me. And that's why I'm a member of the league for a long time, too. I believe the league can get better. It can improve. It seems like it's showing signs of improvement. But I'm a paying member of the league. So I feel that I can speak my truth about things because I'm engaged. I've bought into the system. I'm there. I'm paying attention, etc. You understand. Let's continue. I did ask the question, what are your goals? You guys asked me a lot of great questions. I tried to answer them in episode 210. Now, I asked you a question. What are your goals? I want to show how diverse our listening audience can be, our community, the Hamily. Many different answers, and you can see so many different layers and shades to this hobby. It is as diverse as the people themselves. Let's open the doors. That is the future. Craig says, to be able to head copy CW for Field Day and other contests, November 1, Sierra Fox Tango. Jeff says, win the Riddy Roundup. He's Whiskey Kilo 6, India. David, he wants to work LEO satellites. He's Kilo 6, Tango, Quebec. Bill, just have fun. November 2, November, Delta Foxtrot. Jude, that's lovely. Great song, isn't it? Oh, my daughter, my oldest daughter, would write the lyrics down and tape them up to the wall. You know what I'm talking about. Jude says, I like to be able to get back on HF. He's W9DUT. Ken, get a longer wire installed on our house lot, home, in Northern California. He's Kilo 6, Kilo Echo Charlie. Terry, volunteer more for the amateur radio exam schedules. Whiskey Bravo 8, United Papa Oscar. Michael, my goal is to just have more time to operate. Understood. Whiskey 4, Mike Alpha Lima. Eli, to continue to make contacts and help emergency communications. Kilo Charlie 1, Kilo Zulu X-Ray. Tom, collect as many parks as possible. Kurt, just get on the air. Let's see. He talks about his landlord will not allow. It gets into a little bit of drama there, Kurt, but he wants to get on the air. He's got a situation with an apartment there. Understood. We can talk about that at another time. Timothy, get my extra so I can operate with reciprocal privileges when I travel internationally. David, finished coaching my kids through getting their licenses. Worked all states and DXCC, learning CW, get HF Mobile in the truck, and do some portable ops. That's a full plate, David. He's Kilo Bravo 4, Lima Alpha. RE says, simply to enjoy getting on and seeing where in the world I can talk today. After retirement, I hope to have more space so I can do some more antenna experiments. He's Kilo 1 Alpha United Sierra. David, he wants a 35-foot tower for VHF. He is Kilo Delta 2 Echo Romeo Romeo. All right, we'll take a few more here so I don't weigh you down with a long show. James, advance from general to extra. These are all licenses. If you don't know, you need an FCC license to be an amateur radio operator. The tests are easy enough to talk about, easy enough to pass. General and extra start to get tricky. Extra specifically, there's some debates about how you can go about doing that. Some people memorize the answers. Some people are sticklers for really understanding the content. I believe the practical side of this great hobby comes after you are licensed. Then you start to learn how to build your cables and how high your antennas should be, and a lot of the practical things come after. We'll talk about that another time. Let's see. David, pass the extra without having a breakdown. Man, what some crazy stuff they think you need to know. Kilo 4, Alpha Yankee Kilo. Good topic. Let's pick that up at another time. Paul says, finish DXCC, learn FT8, learn how to work satellites, and build an antenna to let me contact the ISS. John, to be more active on the bands. He's Whiskey 8 Juliet Bravo Hotel. Peter, hoping to get some kind of antenna up to get me back on the radio. I need help. I'm disabled. All right, Peter, post some information in the Facebook group if you're listening to this show, and maybe some nearby hams or a radio club nearby can help you get sorted out. He did not leave his call sign. Peter is in the 100 Watts and Wire Facebook group. And I'm not even going to be able to get to the Twitter stuff today. Let's see, Matthew. I was originally interested in ham by the QSO card from WW1 USA. The call for the U.S. National World War I Museum and Memorial. I got my ticket, finally made contact. Let's see, he's finding these cool event stations. He's Kilo 8, Alpha Echo Foxtrot. Jeff says, starve off the inevitable onset of dementia by learning something new. That's the spirit, Jeff. Joe, complete my go kit, get my extra, and just rag chew. He's Kilo Mike 4, November, Hotel November. Ryan, get my extra, November 0, Juliet Echo Papa. Sean, oh Lord, we're moving this time, is moving fast. Wrap up here shortly. Sean says he wants to get back on the air and sponsor a club at my school. He is Kilo India 4, Romeo Echo X-Ray. Diane, to have fun and get on the air and use my skills, helping to do emergency communications for different events, also teach classes, and help get new people involved in the hobby. Adam, get my extra and organize a club here in the San Luis Valley in South Central Colorado. Douglas, to continue to improve my 2-meter repeater. David, to get on the air more. Kilo 4, Quebec, Mike Lima. Joe, I'm currently deployed to SWA. My goal originally was to get a license or 2 for the countries I'm working in. Okay, that's a long one here. Edwin, enjoy my radio hobby together with other hams as much as I can. And let's see, John, you can see people want to get their license, get their upgrades, they get more privileges. John says, get a good base station, shack setup, learn CW, and get his extra. Jeff, short term, loop on the ground antenna for receive only. Longer term, get my kids more involved. Build a 10-meter Moxon for his addict. He's Kilo Foxtrot 5, Whiskey up, Kilo Whiskey Oscar, KF5, KWO. There you go. And that's not even all of it. It's probably not even half of them. So, the point here is that many different people, a lot of guys, right? There's a couple of women in here. The numbers are down with ladies, but still they are, they're interested. They do have their license. There's more men in this great hobby, more white guys, and the age group seems to skew a bit older. I'm in my 40s now. I go to a ham fest and I wonder, these people have no idea. They probably don't search for podcasts. And, you look around and see what they're interested in. Here we can talk about it. And these are people who are engaged in social media. So many people, probably more than half of the people who listen to the show are not engaged in social media. It's hard to think about that if you're a certain age because, maybe you're in the military or maybe your job doesn't want you to be engaged in social media. Or maybe you're just freaked out about Zuckerberg and what he's doing with the Facebook and the privacy stuff. I totally get it. So many people aren't even sharing their experiences here in this online sort of format, but they're listening to the show. So I'll get emails and it's good to just share it. And for you at home who do not do social media but are listening to my voice through other methods, whether it's shortwave radio stations or you're downloading it to your phone and listening online, whatever, feel free to drop me a line. I want to know what your interest and what your goals are too. These are just a snapshot. But you can see there's so many diverse things. People want to do so many different facets. People are people and people are different. Open your arms if you want them in the hobby. You want the hobby. If you give any F's about the future of this, really? Do you really? Well, if you do, it's not that hard to figure out. This is not some sort of concept that is, over anyone's head here. Think about it. And this is proof that it's, everybody's different. Everybody has a different interest, but we have something in common, and it's radio. All right, friends, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And if you can, by all means, please try and stay above the noise.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsandawire.com.